I'm pretty sure you all heard about KG and VCHA and the lawsuit and the declaration that was just released. If you want like an overall thing, watch someone else's video because I'm pretty sure a lot of people did a better job than I do. So you can go with me literally page by page and I'll tell you what stuck out to me. And there's a lot that stuck out to me. A lot of bad. There's a lot of heavy stuff in this, so be aware of that. And I would like to say this is not a JYP hate channel yet. She says, in January 2023, when I entered into an employment agreement with JYPE, I was 15 years old. At the time, I relied on my parents and the adults around me and did not understand the employment agreement I was signing. Mind you, we will find out that a lot of the stuff they were signing was in Korean. So JYP, I'm just going to say JYP, the company from now on. If I talk about the guy, I'll talk about the guy. I'll say his name. So JYP hired an attorney. Her name is Debbie White to represent her. And my girl used air quotes for represent. But KG says, I had no meaningful interactions with her and was not generally aware of the terms of the contract that she had signed. She also says she was forced to signing these contracts also because they only gave them a few minutes. Okay, and now we're getting to stuff with the parents because there were some parenting things in this that was, it got me a little like, oh, okay. Anyway, KG says, I was aware that the parents had a Zoom meeting, but I never attended because I was too busy practicing. Therefore, I never spoke to the attorney before signing the contract. Bad move, you know, but maybe if it were in English. At the time the contract was being approved, I did not fully understand what the parents were meeting about. Okay, so this is first notice that the parents and the children are separate from each other and don't know what the left hand did from the right one. So there was limited interaction that KG had with Debbie the lawyer, but it didn't happen until after she left the house and after she let VCHA and left JYP. And she called this, and Ms. White called back, but I like she called her Debbie. She spoke with me and my mom, but after the call, she ghosted us. Betty White. Now she tells us that the entertainment company forced her to work while injured. And, you know, that's kind of not new to K-pop. It says one of her teammates hurt her hip and back, another one sprained her ankle, and KG herself tore a tendon in her shoulder. She provides evidence and photos of this. I'm not going to include them here because they're already out there everywhere. So then they did that stuff where they make them do like one move forever and ever and ever and ever. And KG said they denied us water. She was in severe pain from it. And guess what? She wasn't taken to receive medical care until 2 days after the injury, along with the 2 other teammates. Now, surprise, surprise, with an injured shoulder, she was still forced to continue dancing. And then Miss KG, she injured her leg. My girl stay injured. And they were injecting her with stuff. And I don't really know she knew exactly what she was being injected with until she saw it on the bill. Okay, and then Miss KG got an injury on her hip bone, which she had internal bleeding. Listen, you heard my voice quake saying the B word. And then, surprise, surprise, the company made them work 60 plus hours per week. Remember, this is in the US. This isn't in Korea. The laws are different, so we'll see what happens with child labor laws. Although they claim to have that in Korea too. So it seemed like KG, because she wasn't, she admits she wasn't the best dancer. So she had to stay a little bit later after the other people because they said she needed to train like the Korean trainees, which weren't they supposed to be training them in the Korean system? I don't know. That's confusing. So KG kind of felt pressured to work even later and ended up working till 11. Mind you, they started at 10:30 a.m., left 11 p.m. She also includes some things about the other members kind of being nervous to speak up, which I get it. And then KG gets a text saying that the staff made it seem like the rest of the group was just lazy if they left earlier than KG did. It feels like they're pitting each other against each other. And kind of is it making it seem like they want the others to train just as long too? She does say that in this suit. She says it put heavy pressure on everyone to stick around just as long, even if it meant violating proper work hour limits. KG said, my teacher just told me I really need more practice. Mom says, okay, then practice more. Be sharp in movements. It's because I'm not a dancer. She doesn't know that, so it's a new teacher from outside JYP. I've been staying till 1 to 2 a.m. And then my girl says, okay, but you're a dancer now. And she tells her my body is sore, and mama says, do your best. And now we get into the classic dieting. So it should be no surprise that they're monitoring what they're eating, but monitoring is going to come later. The company pressured them to only eat salads. I love a good salad, but not every day. But you cannot have 8+ hours a day of activity with just a salad. When they were staying at a hotel, they couldn't order food. They couldn't do none of that. And then another JYP manager comes and tells them, pretty much, lose weight or you'll regret the way you look. And then another one just said, don't eat. What the hell? What in the world? And then we get into the staff's treatment. It was pretty much confirmed to them through a text that the company's cold treatment was intentional. She even says that someone risked their job to tell her what was really happening. And what was happening is that the staff was, I guess, treating them like, I don't want to say property or cattle, and they claimed that they did all of that so the girls wouldn't become spoiled. But I'm like, how are they going to get spoiled when they don't have money in their pockets? Y'all are telling them exactly what to wear, what to do, where to go. But okay. This is one of my favorite ones that got me, is that the company forbade them from dancing to or even listening to music that was not under JYP. She says that they also insisted that they only speak Korean when talking to staff about where they're going, like for rehearsal or lunch break or anything, but none of them really spoke Korean, which, global girl group, Korea is in the globe, so it's, And what gagged me, okay, I might, if I can find the interview instructions that they gave these girls, wild. I might attach it at the end. So wild. This one also got me. The company got rid of their previous child welfare worker. Her name is Miss Cheryl. And they replaced her with someone, air quotes, laid back. Because the company disliked, get this, the company disliked that Miss Cheryl, she was trying to follow the law. Too much, they said no. Sounds familiar. If anyone wanted to know their curfew, it was 9 p.m. And the doors were armed and alarmed. As time goes on, she says she starts to feel like not even human anymore. She says she has no more freedom. Again, kind of treating them like they're cattle. Now it's time for the Diddy YP of it all. And that is using spy cams. The story is crazy how they realized that spy cams were happening. They would do things when staff wasn't there and eat things sometimes, make meals at night, and then the staff would approach them about it and talk to them about it. And they were like, how do y'all know? Well, they got cameras. In their house, they also installed a Kulula IQ Panel 4 security system that was in the kitchen and the dining room. And they were there for months without realizing it was a camera. And it's because the lens was so small and so tiny. Now, my issue is perverts. Because later on, she says that staff can turn the camera on and off when they want to. The deepest, darkest stuff that we kind of had hints of when she originally filed this case is about, and this is the trigger warning part, so there's a lot of self-harm and things like that. So you could skip to whatever it says on the screen if you want to avoid that. So KG reinforces that one of the members was showing signs of an eating disorder and possibly self-harm, she says, including binge eating, vomiting, and rumors that she was burning herself with a lighter. And she ultimately attempted to take her own life. I hope whoever this member is, I hope it only comes out if they want it to come out. But KG says she has more information that could be released in an evidentiary hearing. So she also has evidence that staff called eating disorders normal. Well, yes, in K-pop, it seems to be. Now she brings up that she texted with her child welfare worker and she told him that she couldn't really wake up in the morning and she was begging the staff, like, can you adjust my hours so I can sleep? She also brings up the group chat where she was saying, I haven't felt happy in years, feel like I don't have a personality anymore. In this one, they changed me and I lost all good. And the other sad thing is that the other teammates echoed the similar feelings. Okay. The parents had concerns about the other members of VCHA leaving, discussing, among other things, JYP's power and the parents' fear of liquidated damages. And based on hearing that, the rest of the VCHA members decided to stay. The parents know that the kids are suffering and they say, I don't want to have to pay back those damages. And I mean, the damages, it is substantial. She says as of April 2024, her debt is over $500,000. A lot of the charges were living expenses, training costs, promotional activities. And what promotional activities? Okay. But money spoke and the parents were like, you got to stay in this so we can recoup this money. Will they ever get that money back? Maybe one day, but over $500,000. And on the side, she just details how she escaped, because it sounds like she escaped the cult. She had to have a staff member drop her off outside the house in a hotel at 3 in the morning, and KG was only 16. And then she has proof that JYP, the company, was we're making it clear that KG still has stuff to pay back. Also, because of what I'm assuming is the contract, she can't work, she can't release music, she can't act, she can't post on social media, and she can't use any of her skills to make an income. And the company had the nerve to say that she's making false and exaggerated claims. Well, she came up in this and she said, here's my evidence, and she has additional evidence. Y'all probably already saw this online, but if you didn't, this is the crazy stuff that they said you are allowed and not allowed to do on an interview, be it print or video. So these are the words they want you to avoid. I'm a perfectionist, sensitive, I have mood swings, emo, dark, or anything that can create a specific image of you. Mind you, the label wants to control these kids' images, so I get it. It's nasty. They also don't want you to mention anything that can be negative, like, I get sad from time to time, or I like being alone, or I love being alone in my room. Of course, you're only allowed to mention JYP artists, but you can mention Western artists, but nothing else. What they do want you to say is, oh, we're doing this for our fans, or, say something that the fans can look up to. And then they give these generic ass answers. So if you ever hear someone say something like, if you're in Italy, I loved the food from Italy, is I liked blank from blank, code word for I didn't even get to see the place. Or be like, hey, my members helped me out with this, and that. And they want you to be specific with the examples, which makes me feel like they want you to make it up and remember what you made up. Complete your answers. Don't just say, I like red. Say, I like red because. This is something that really got KG livid, is that, and she even highlighted it. Let's try not to mention your solo artist career before VCHA. It kind of makes sense that if you're actively in the group, they don't want you to talk about other things, other labels. But I wonder if that still stands now that she's left the group. But she was really upset over this because I guess she has a lot of solo music that she was excited to share with people. And some of the other members were feeling the same type of way. I'll also include this, is that someone in the group chat was really, really, really talking to KG. Really briefly, there are a lot of messages between the members where they're all feeling lost.